Good morning students. Welcome to online teaching session of Academic World School Bemetra. Today we are going to learn about the metals and different metallurgical processes. Okay. So before going to start my session, I would like to tell you something about the occurrence of the metals, from where we are getting the metals and how it exists in nature. That we have to know that. Usually what happens, if I talk about the occurrence of the metals, I have to talk about the source and the state. If I talk about the source, maximum metals are found in earth crust. But there are certain metals which are found from the seawater also. Okay, so let me start the occurrence of the metals. Occurrence of metals. That is, first of all, you can write the source. So before writing, I would like to tell you that you should have your book and copy along with your pen and pencil with you. Each and every session I want to remind you that, okay? Well, so the occurrence of the metals, first of all you see that metals exist in our earth crust, okay? There are many metals which are found in your seawater also. So I can write that source means earth crust or maybe the seawater, okay? Seawater is also the source of the many of the, you can say that, metals also. But basically we consider the crust of the earth is the source of the different type of the metals. Next one, you see that how the metal exists. It is called your state. The metals can exist either in the state of the combined or maybe the free state. So I can write that state, either the metal can exist in the free state or maybe the combined state. Okay, but actually what happens, the maximum metals are found in combined state only. Okay, so we can proceed now the today's session. So first remember that the maximum metals we got it in the form of the combined. Okay, so next one is that we have to know what is the mineral, what is ore and what is the gangue. Well, I told you that we get the metals in the earth crust. That is called your mineral. Okay? So mineral is the compound form of the metal which exists in crust of the earth. But the mineral from which we obtain maximum amount of the metals during the process of the metallurgy, that is known as your ore. Okay? So let me write down the definition of the mineral and ore. Okay? So first of all, write down the definition of the mineral. Mineral. It is the compound of the metal. Found in earth crust. Okay, that is called your mineral. But all minerals are not useful for us. So the minerals from which we can obtain, we can extract maximum amount of the pure metal, that minerals are known as ore. Okay, so let me write down the definition of the ore. The mineral that provide us maximum percentage of pure metal during metallurgical processes is called your ore. It means that always the ore provides us the maximum amount of the pure metal. So one thing remember that all the ores are mineral, but all minerals cannot be the ore. Okay? All ores are mineral. Ores may be the mineral, but the minerals may not be the ore. That statement you remember. Okay. Then what is the gangue? Gangue means the impurity found in the ore. The ore is not pure. There are certain impurities. Impurities may be the dust, dirt, maybe the soil particles and other chemicals are also. Okay. That impurity, the unwanted things are known as gangue. So let me write down the definition of the gangue. It is the impurities or unwanted things found in ore. found in ore. So you have to remember the definition of the mineral, the definition of the ore, and the definition of the gangue. Again I want to repeat, the mineral is the compound form of the metal that exists in Earth's crust. But the mineral from which we obtain maximum amount of the pure metal commercially, that mineral is known as ore. But there are certain impurity or unwanted things present in the ore, they are known as the gangue. Okay? And after that, you have to know the important ores. What we use in our, you can say that in the many of the industries. The important ores, I have written it here for your consideration. Iron. The name of the iron ore is hematite and the formula is Fe2O3, 2 water. Similarly, ore of the aluminium is known as bauxite, aluminium oxide. Okay? Ore of the copper, cuprite, cupric oxide, cuprous oxide, and your copper glands. Okay? That is your Cu2S. Then your ore of the zinc is known as zinc blende, chemical formula zinc sulfide. Then the sodium, rock salt, sodium chloride, NaCl. Mercury, the ore of the mercury is cinnabar, mercury sulfide, HGS. Then the ore of the lead is known as galena, PbS. Then ore of the calcium is the dolomite. This is the combination of your calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. So these are the important ores which we use in the different industries and factories, okay, to extract the metal. You have to remember that. After knowing the important ores, then types of the ore and how to select a mineral as ore, that you have to remember. Ores are divided into different types. It may be the oxide ore, it may be the carbonate ore, it may be the sulfide ore, it may be the halide ore also. Let me write down types of the ore, okay? Types of ore. The ore may be the oxide ore, okay? The ore may be the carbonate ore, the ore may be the sulfide, and the ore may be your halide. These are the type of the ore or the general types of the ore. Next one is how to select a mineral as ore. I told you that all minerals cannot be the ore. There are certain criteria. Okay, that criteria you have to remember, and for that criteria the mineral can be told as ore. What are the criteria? The criteria or the characteristic features are, first one is that the mineral it should be economical. Okay, let me write down economical. It should be economical. Second one point is that readily available. Readily available. Okay, and next one, it should contain maximum percentage of pure metal. Okay, next one is minimum you can say that unwanted thing or impurity, minimum impurities. Okay, and it should follow the less number of your extraction step or maybe the processes. Should follow minimum extraction processes or steps. Okay, again I repeat, if the mineral has these many properties or maybe the criteria, then the mineral can be told as or can be considered as ore. The first one is that it should be economically extracted from the mines. It should be readily available, easily available, okay? And the mineral should contain the maximum percentage of the pure metal with minimum impurities, and it should follow the minimum extraction step for its, you can say that, getting the pure metal. So these are the criteria for the mineral to be told as ore. The next thing we will know about the extraction of the metals, which is the main topic in this session, and how we can extract the metals from its ore. Okay, and we will discuss these many steps: the concentration, conversion of the ores into its metal oxides, then the reduction, then your refining. So let me start from the definition of the metallurgy. So what is the meaning of the metallurgy? Then we will go to different step of the metallurgical processes. So first you have to understand what is the meaning of the metallurgy. Let me write down metallurgy. Metallurgy means, first you see, extraction of the metal, not metal, but the ore, extraction of the ores from the mines. Then the ores will be followed by the different extraction processes. Okay, and after that process you are getting the metal. Then metal will be purified to obtain the pure metal. So altogether this is called the metallurgy. Okay, so let me write down the definition of the metallurgy. These are the steps. These are the steps to obtain metal from its ore and getting the pure metal after refining. Okay, it means in metallurgical processes we are doing the two things. One thing is that we are getting the metals from its ore. Second one is we are refining the metal to obtain the pure metal. So altogether it is called your metallurgical processes. So now we will discuss about what are the different steps of the metallurgical processes. Okay, so let me write down metallurgical steps. Metallurgical steps. Okay. So the first one is the concentration of the ore. Concentration of ore. Second one is that conversion of ore into metal oxide. Ore into metal oxide. Third one is the reduction process. Reduction of metal oxide into metals. And your fourth step is refining of the metals. Okay, again I want to repeat the step of the metallurgy or the step of the metallurgical process. The first one is the concentration of the ore. Concentration of the ore means to remove the impurity found in the ore. Okay, that is called concentration of the ore. The another name is also called enrichment of the ore. Okay, then second one is conversion of the ore into metal oxide. The ore is to be converted into metal oxide. How it will be? Third one is how we can get metal from the metal oxide by reducing. So the reduction process. So in the reduction process we are obtaining the metal from the metal oxide. And the last one is after getting the metal we have to refine that to separate any other impurity is present. That is called the refining of the metals. So now we will discuss one by one. The first one is concentration of the ore. As I told you, the meaning of the concentration of the ore means to remove the impurity or to separate the impurities. Okay? Let me write down concentration of ore. Concentration of ore. I told you to remove the impurity. So how the impurities can be removed? There are the four, you can say that methods of removing the impurity from the ore. What are they? First one is that hydraulic washing. Hydraulic washing. Second one is your froth flotation. Froth flotation process. Third one is your magnetic separation. And your fourth one is leaching. Okay? These are the four methods by which we can separate the impurities found in ore. The first one is hydraulic washing. Hydraulic washing method depends upon the specific gravity of the ore and the gangue. Okay? One is light and other one is heavy. So here we use the running stream of the water to wash the impurities. Okay? So let me draw the diagram for that and I will explain after that. Okay? Now you see that here you see there is a big container like this, and from here it is connected with a pipe, and from the pipe the water is coming into the container at high pressure. Okay, the water is flowing at high pressure, and from the top of here, from the top, the ore is being put into the water at hydraulic pressure, under pressure. It is under pressure. Okay, the ore is falling down in the running water. Then what will happen? The impurity, which are the light gangue, the gangue which are very light, they are washed away like this. Okay, gangue particles will wash away by means of the running water, and the ore particles which are heavy, they will settle down here. These are your ore particles, right? So in this way we can clean the ores using the hydraulic method. Again I repeat, in hydraulic washing we are using the hydraulic pressure along with your pipe containing the water. Okay, here the specific gravity is concerned. Here the gangue is very lighter particles and ore is the heavier particles, and the gangue will wash away in the running stream of the water, so that the ore particles which are heavy settle down. Right? In this way it can be cleaned. The second one is your froth flotation process. Froth flotation process is based on wetting property of the gangue and ore. The ore wet in your oil and the gangue wet in water. So we use the mixture of the pine oil and the water, and in that mixture we put the ore. The ore get dissolved to some extent in this mixture of the oil and water. Then what happens? From the top we apply the compressed air. Okay, we apply the compressed air, or the compressed air is blown into the mixture, so that it forms the froth. Okay, so when the froth will form, the froth will come at the upper surface. Okay, and you know that froth is very light particles. That froth will take out the sulfide ore, which is also light. It means the froth contains the sulfide ores which are light, and the heavy gangue particles settle down. So we can remove the froth and can separate the ore particles. Okay, so the froth flotation process is applied to the ore which contain the sulfide. Okay, so let me draw the diagram of the froth flotation process. It is like this. This is the container. Okay, here is the arrangement for applying the compressed air, for blowing the compressed air. Okay, the container contains the mixture of the pine oil plus water, and along with the ores. Okay, and in that mixture the compressed air is blown under pressure, so that it forms the froth. It forms the froth. Froth are very lighter particles. It come up to the surface of like this, and the froth will take out the sulfide ores, which is also light. The sulfide ores stick into the froth. Okay, and the froth is taken out. The froth containing sulfide ore particles are separated. Okay, and the gangue particles are the heavy here, and the gangue particles will deposit at the bottom layer. These are the gangue particles. Understood? So again I repeat, in the froth flotation process, that process is based on the wetting property of your gangue and your ore wet with your oil, and gangue wet with your water. So we take in that container the mixture of the pine oil with water, and the ore is get mixed. So to this mixture we apply the compressed air. Okay, or the compressed air is blown into this mixture at high pressure, so that it forms the froth. And when the froth is coming up the surface, the froth will take the sulfide ores. They are also very light, so we can separate the froth easily to take out the sulfide ores. And at the bottom of the container there lies the gangue, which are heavy. So this is called your froth flotation process. Then next one, the magnetic separation. Magnetic separation method is based on the magnetic property either of the your ore or maybe the gangue. Okay, and you want to be the magnetic so that we can use the magnet to separate. So how to separate it? Let me draw the diagram for the magnetic separation. This consists of an arrangement of like this. There are the two rollers in this arrangement, and the two rollers are connected with a conveyor belt. Okay, the two rollers are moving. Okay, continuously. So as the conveyor belt is also moving with the help of the electric motor. So now you see that this roller, one of the roller at one end is attached to it or fixed with a magnet, right? And at another end from here, the ore is to be dropped on the conveyor belt, right? So when the ore is dropped on the conveyor belt, the belt is moving, so ores will also start moving on the surface of the conveyor belt and come to this end. So here there is a magnetic strip. The ores which are magnetic in nature, they are being attracted by this magnetic strip and can be thrown into this area. Okay, so the magnetic ores are collected over here. Magnetic ores are collecting here, and the gangue which are the non-magnetic property, having the non-magnetic nature, they fall down vertically here. Gangue. Understand? So in this way we can separate the magnetic ores from the non-magnetic gangue using the magnetic method, right? And the last one is the leaching method. Leaching method depend upon the chemical properties of the ore and the impurities. The ores is to be dissolved in some of the strong chemicals so that we can separate the impurity, because impurity is not going to mix. Okay, and after that we can again take out the metal or maybe the ore from that. Okay, let me write down giving an example for that. So leaching method, I can take the example of the aluminium oxide, which is known as the bauxite. We are taking the ore. How to clean that? Okay, aluminium oxide is added with concentrated solution of the sodium hydroxide to form your sodium aluminate NaAlO2 plus water, right? And this sodium aluminate plus water, they both combine and react together at high temperature to form your aluminum hydroxide AlOH3 plus we are getting the sodium hydroxide once again here. Okay, and this aluminum hydroxide again reheated to get aluminum oxide plus your water. Understand? So in this way we can follow the leaching method to clean the ore. So now I explained you the hydraulic washing, the froth flotation method, the magnetic separation method and the leaching method to clean the ore so that we can separate the unwanted things from the ore. Okay, the first step is done. And the second step is that I have written it here, conversion of the ore into metal oxides. So how can we convert the ores into metal oxides? There are the two methods. One is the calcination and another one is the roasting. Let me write down. Second step is conversion of ores into metal oxide. Okay, there are the two methods. One is known as your calcination and another one is your roasting. Let me write down calcination and another one is roasting. Okay, so what is the calcination and what is the roasting? Calcination is the method which is applied for carbonate ores, the ore which contain the carbonate. And these carbonate ores are heated in absence of the air, strongly heated in absence of the air so that it will convert into its oxide. But in case of the roasting, the sulfide ores are being heated in the presence of the air to convert it into its oxide form. So let me give you the examples of the calcination and the roasting. Example 1, it is for calcination process. We can take the zinc carbonate. So when it will be strongly heated in the absence of the air, it will convert into zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. And similarly, the roasting process. Example, if you take the zinc sulfide is heated in the presence of your air, it means oxygen should be added with it. It will form your zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide gas. I have not balanced it, and you try to balance the equations, okay? It is also your work. So in calcination process, the carbonate ores are heated in the absence of the air to convert it into the metal oxide and carbon dioxide. Here you write absence of air, okay? Absence of air. And similarly, in the roasting process, the sulfide ores are heated in the presence of air so that it will convert into oxide and your sulfur dioxide gas will come out. So this is about your calcination and the roasting process, right? After the conversion of the ore into the metal oxides, next step is the reduction. Okay, reduction is essential to obtain the metal from the metal oxide. So how the reduction will be carried on? There are also the different methods to carry the reduction. Let me write down the reduction methods. Okay. Next step is the reduction method, that is your C, reduction. So why the reduction is essential? To get the metal from metal oxides. To get metal from the metal oxides. So reduction is essential. So there are also the different methods for the reduction. First one is your self-reduction. Second one is your chemical reduction. And your third one is electrolytic reduction. Okay? So reduction process is essential to get metal from the metal oxides. So first I will explain you how the self-reduction process will work out. Self-reduction process, right? Self-reduction. Self-reduction is also known as auto-reduction, in which we are not providing any reducing agent. It will be heated in air and it absorbs the oxygen and get reduced, okay, in presence of air. So let us take an example of that. If I take the mercuric sulfide HGS, mercury sulfide, so when it will be heated, it will be heated in air to convert it into your mercuric oxide HgO plus your sulfur dioxide gas. Okay, and it will take oxygen from the air. Now this mercuric oxide HgO, when it will be again reheated, it will give you the mercury and oxygen gas. So now we are getting the metal from the metal sulfide. Okay, and similarly we can use the metal oxides to obtain the metal also. Okay, then come to the chemical reduction. In chemical reduction method, actually what happened? Here we use the carbon in the form of the coal or the coke to reduce the oxides of the, you can say that metal. Okay, I can give an example of that one. We can take the zinc oxide plus carbon. It will give you your zinc plus carbon monoxide gas. I can take one more example. Suppose your Fe2O3 plus carbon, it will also give you the iron plus carbon monoxide. Again I repeat, here the carbon is used in the form of the coal or maybe the coke, and coal and coke are used as the reducing agent. So the zinc oxide plus carbon, we are getting the zinc plus carbon monoxide, and similarly if we take iron oxide Fe2O3 plus carbon, then Fe plus carbon monoxide. This is called your chemical reduction, because we are using certain chemicals to reduce the oxide of the metal to obtain the metal. Next one is your electrolytic reduction. So what is the electrolytic reduction? That I want to explain you. In electrolytic reduction, as the name says, we use the method of the electrolysis. You know that in electrolysis we are using an electrolytic solution, and in that electrolytic solution we are using the cathode and anode being the electrode, and electricity is passing over that. Okay, so in electrolytic reduction, I can explain you taking an example of the aluminium oxide once again, Al2O3. When aluminium oxide is heated, it will be converted into the molten state, Al2O3 molten state, and this molten state aluminium oxide is to be electrolyzed. So when it will be electrolyzed, what will form? You see that it will give you 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus, the corresponding ions. Okay, cation and anion will form. So at cathode, so what reaction will form? You see that your 2Al3 plus 6 electron, it will give you 2Al. Okay, and similarly at anode, what will happen? You see that your 3O2 minus 6 electron, it will give you 3 oxygen, which is your nascent oxygen, and this 3 oxygen plus 3 oxygen, they are both combined together to give you 3O2. Okay, so in this way the electrolytic reduction process goes on. I have given you an example. Again I want to explain. You have taken the aluminium oxide. First aluminium oxide is to be heated strongly so that it will convert into the molten state. So in the molten state should we undergo with electrolysis process. So when the aluminium oxide in the molten state undergo in electrolysis process, then it will you can say that dissociate into its ions. So 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus, it is oxide. Okay, 2 minus and aluminium 3 plus, the valency 3. Now at cathode, what are the cathodic reaction and what is the anodic reaction takes place? The cathodic reaction 2Al3 plus, it will accept the 6 electron, 3 2s are 6, so that it will convert into 2 aluminium, which is the neutral. Similarly at anode, 3 oxide 2 minus, it will give out its 6 electrons. Okay, it give out its 6 electrons to convert into 3 oxygen, which is your neutral and your nascent. This 3 oxygen atoms combine together to give you the neutral 3O2, which is oxygen molecule. So this is your electrolytic reduction process. Done. So in this way, in the reduction process, we get the metals from the metal oxides. And the last process is refining of the metals. I told you that after getting the metal, even after getting the metal contain few amount of the different type of the impurity. Although it is a small amount, again we have to purify that, to refine that. Then we can able to get the 100% pure metal. So how to refine the metals? What are the different methods to refine the metals? Okay, so let me write down the refining of the metals. Your D, refining of the metals. Refining of the metals. It can be done by the different methods. First one is your liquefaction method. Second one is electrolytic method. Third one is your distillation method. The fourth one is your oxidation method. And your fifth one is your zone refining method. So again I repeat, for refining of the metals, there are so many methods, but I have taken only 5 methods. They are liquefaction method, electrolytic method, distillation method, oxidation method, and zone refining method. So what are they? Let's come to know that. Okay. First of all, what is the liquefaction method? Let me explain. Liquefaction method, okay? Refining of metals. First one is the liquefaction. Liquefaction means, as the name says, the liquid state. The liquefaction method is applied to those metals whose melting point is quite lower than the impurity. It means the impurity has the higher melting point and the metal has the lower melting point. So that the metal can be converted into liquid form by heating that and can be collected as in the form of the liquid. And the impurity will be remain as it is in the solid form and can be separated out. So for that we can have you can say that arrangement. It consists of an like this. It is called your slopy hearth. Okay, slopy hearth, H-E-A-R-T-H. Hearth means where the fire is being ignited continuously. Okay, so it is like this. So now you see that. Okay, so this hearth is continuously burning. So it is having a slopy plate is here. Okay, and it is having the extremely high temperature being heated. So from the top we are pouring the you can say that the metals, impure metals, okay, we are pouring that. So due to the high temperature, the metals are converting into the liquid form and they started to flow down and collected in the container. Understood? The metals are melting here due to the high temperature and converted into the liquid form. They flow down and collected here. Metal, the pure metal. And the impurities, they have the high melting point. I told you already, the impurities do not able to melt. They remain in the solid form here. They remain in the solid form and which can be separated out later on. Okay, so this method is known as the liquefaction method. Again I repeat, liquefaction method is applicable to those metals which has the lower melting point than its impurity. The impurity is having the higher melting point so that it will remain as the solid form, but the metal can be converted into liquid form. So we have this type of the arrangement. Okay, so this is your liquefaction method. The second one is your electrolytic method. Electrolytic refining method is a very popular method we use for the different metals for the refining. So let me explain you in how the metal can be refined in electrolytic way. Electrolytic refining. Okay. Here you see that we are using the electrolysis process. There is a container where we use the cathode and anode. Here we use the impure metal as the anode, impure metal strip as your anode, and the pure metal as the cathode. Pure metal strip as the cathode, and the salt solution is used as electrolyte, and the current is pass over that. Okay, so then what will happen at anode? At anode what will happen? Metal in the form of the solid, it will give you the ion plus your electron like this, and at cathode the reaction will be, they both again combine each other, Mn plus and electron minus, it will give you M in the solid form. This is the aqueous form. Okay, so this is the reaction at anode and the cathode will takes place during the electrolytic refining, and the impurity will be collected as the anode mode. You can write it here. The impurities can be collected as anode mode, okay, and the pure metal is collected at cathode. Pure metal is collected at cathode, right? Because it will be deposited. Here one thing you remember that the size of the anode will keep on decreasing due to the loss of your ions, and the size of the cathode will increase due to the deposition. And if I draw the diagram of this, it will be like this. Take the container in which we are using the salt solution as electrolyte, and we are having the two electrodes. Okay, one is your cathode and one is the anode. Cathode is the pure metal. Pure metal is used as cathode, and impure metal is used as your anode. Okay, and it is connected with your current supply or electricity will supply. Okay, so it is your electrolytic refining process, right? You have to remember the anodic reaction and the cathodic reaction. After that come to the distillation process. Distillation process takes place in such metals which are having the low melting and can vaporize, or you can say that volatile in nature. So what will happen when we heat that metal? The metal will melt, convert it into its vapor form, and that vapor can be condensed to get the metal back, and the impurity will remain as it is at the bottom of the container. That is called your distillation refining process. Okay? Then come oxidation refining. Oxidation refining are applied to those metals which are having the impurity that have the affinity towards your oxygen, so that it can be separated out, and you can say that it has the long steps for that also. And at last, zone refining. Zone refining, you have to know something about it. So what is the meaning of the zone refining? That I want to explain you. Zone refining. Okay? In case of the zone refining, suppose you see that here is a metal rod. You try to understand, this is a metal rod, okay, containing the impurity, or you can write that impure metal rod. Impure metal, okay, impure metal rod. So now this rod is being connected with a circular heater. There is a circular heater, or an arrangement of the, you can say that heating arrangement. It is in the form of the circular, and it can move here, okay, it can move like, you can say that forward way or maybe the backward way. So now what will happen when this heater or the heating arrangement move in this way, the rod will insert into that, okay. So when the rod will insert into that heating arrangement, then the metal will start to melt, okay. So when it will melt, then what will happen? The metal will convert it to the molten state. So during the molten state, the pure metal will be removed and can be recrystallized in the cold area, and the impurity will remain in the molten state. So the diagram will be like this way. Diagram will be like this way. You can draw like this. Okay, and here is the circular heating arrangement. Here is the impure metal, and here is the pure metal. The pure metal will be recrystallized. This is based on the recrystallization process. Okay, so the impurity will be remain here in the molten state, and after the completion of that, the metal should be coated out so that impurity can be separated and the pure metal can be separated. Okay, so these are the different methods of the refining of the metals. So now before concluding my lesson, I want to recapitulate whatever I explained today. First of all, I told you the occurrence of the metals, what are the source of the metals and the state, how they are present or found. Then I told you the difference between the mineral and ores. I told you the what is about the gangue. Then I have given you the examples of the important ores that are used in industries and the factories. Then the type of the ore I told you. And after that, how to select a mineral to be the ore, what should be the characters that mineral should have. Then I explained in detail extraction of the metal from its ore, okay, and I have explained you the metallurgical step starting from the concentration of the ore, then the conversion of the ore into metal oxides, then how we can get the metal from the metal oxide by reduction process. That also I explained you, and at last I told you how to refine the metal. Okay, and all these steps I explained you. So I wish that you will go through that, and before concluding, I want to give you the assignment of this session. Okay, and it is my request to complete your assignment, to upload in ERP. This is the part of your PT1. So let me write down the assignment questions. Assignment question you can also download from the ERP also. Still then I am writing here also for your consideration. Assignment question number 1 is that write the name of the ores. Write the name of ores of iron, copper, aluminium, and lead. Aluminium and lead. The second question is how the concentration of the ore can be done. how concentration of ore can be done. You have to explain the methods what I told you. Then question number 3, define the calcination and the roasting. Define calcination and roasting, giving example. Giving examples. And the last question is write a short note on electrolytic refining. Electrolytic refining of metal. Well, again I want to repeat, you have to solve the questions given in the assignment and do upload it in ERP. This is your part of your PT1 examinations. Thank you very much.